complete. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Patch. This week brought to you by NatureBox and Squarespace. There they are. Yeah.
Oh, look.
Right in front of you. Thank you.
I'm celebrating the
Get your
functional
dirty
ability.
foot off the
Oh,
screen.
sorry, God.
There we go. Just in time. It went
You know.
away.
I massaged
I'm relaxed. I'm in a comfortable zone, okay?
You try that shit in my house, Gavin will give you about 45 dirty looks. I
That
can't
doesn't
even have
seem
my
like he would launch any sort of assault that would stop
I
me.
can't
though.
have any feet on like the bottom rung of our table either.
What?
Really?
Can't have that. Nope.
That's the
I
tread
can
zone.
have non-shoed feet, but if it's shoes, they are not allowed
Unshod?
to touch the table, and I constantly do it.
Yeah, shoes are gross.
Get your dirty ass shoes. I actually, ew, something fell
Yeah,
off
stuff
of them.
is falling off
Yeah.
of your shoe onto there.
Yeah.
The shoes
I
are
like that.
really
I was like
dirty, too.
raised
Yeah,
in
they
a
are.
barn. What's wrong with my shoes?
That's what
They're
Georgia's
dirty.
called the barn of the U.S.
That's you're not well.
It was the spirit of Georgia
Fine.
saying yes, indeed.
No, you rally spirit of Georgia. There we go.
All right. Well,
That would make
The
Alabama the
Patch.
outhouse.
here to talk about video games,
Yes.
video game stuff.
Not coffee tables.
Not coffee tables, not Ryan's filthy shoes.
My shoes aren't filthy.
They are.
They're actually
It
reasonably
disgusts
clean.
me.
What fell off of it then?
It's
Clean-
probably
cleanliness?
paint chips from fucking
Glenn.
immersion is what it is.
Moats of clean.
Yeah. Windex
Dipped
and
in
Pine
sanitary.
Sol.
Yeah. That's just soap flakes. They actually emit soap. They clean the environment as I rub and just up against it.
All right, video games.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to see who's on this?
What?
Who's on this patch?
Oh, I'm Gus.
Meg.
Ryan,
And Gus. Thank you. I forgot. I've just been so distracted. I'm so frazzled now.
you two are so hopped up on tea.
So it's GDC week, and of course, lots of big news coming out of there. Not the least of which is yesterday Sony formally announced pricing and release window for PlayStation VR. It's going to be $399 coming out in October. Did they say a specific date, or did they just say October? Because everything I think I read just said October.
Yeah, just said October.
You don't want to pin down a specific date. Given a month, that's pretty impressive that they're like, definitely October. So
Awesome.
October 31st.
But it's like now there's only so many days, right? Like you'd think they would have had it nailed down
1
by
through
now.
31.
Yeah. You want to have some slip room.
That's true.
Then this October 31st.
Well, but then you don't want to pop it up because people are going to be like, oh, I thought it was going to be on the 31st.
Yeah, because if you get it done early and you drop it on October 1st, everybody's like, you get that moment of a gasp. And if you do it on 31st, they're like, yeah, I saw that coming. But at least you delivered on the month you said you would.
All right.
But let's talk about the most exciting part, which is $399.
$399.
Is it exciting?
Yes, it is.
Below the price of Oculus and Vive.
Yes.
And but you do need to have the PlayStation camera, which is a separate $60 purchase.
Which, hey, if you are one of the lucky few who got the 20th anniversary PlayStation, it came with it.
You
Wow.
are maybe the only person I know who has the camera then.
Really?
I know plenty of
Why
people
else
who
would you
play
have
on
it?
PlayStation 4, but I don't know
yeah.
many people with the camera.
I want to say, did my other one not come with the camera? Yeah, the anniversary one came with the camera.
Yeah.
And it's pointed at the wrong part, so it's always it's pointed too far up since we moved, and it's always it signs you in with your face and the controller, and I'm always having to like creep at the bottom of the frame and put the controller right under my chin. I could just fix the camera, but that would be too easy.
Yeah.
Or, use a button to log in.
No thanks. I
No?
want to do the
Okay.
little camera thing.
Yeah, so you have to have the camera. Eventually, you may need the Move as well, right?
I mean, they said it does not come with the Move controllers, but it didn't seem like they'll be absolutely necessary. It can
Right.
do some tracking with the controller.
And they had a few demos that showed off kind of asynchronous gameplay, in which there was one player using the headset while a couch of people are playing on controllers and the main screen.
Nightmare scenario.
Why is that a nightmare scenario?
Nightmare. Because there's
You can't
already
see?
there's already enough people taking photos of other people looking like idiots with VR headsets. Come over, I'll put on the VR headset and you'll all make fun of me. You'll put something in front of my feet, I'll fall down.
Lindsay
Like,
did that to me yesterday.
Yeah, there were like 13
Here's the best part.
photos.
Yeah, no, the best part is the picture that she posted on Twitter is me with the headset up like this. And what she doesn't realize is I was looking at her. You hit the guide button, and it pops a window where you can see through the camera on the front. So she's like, she has no idea, and I'm looking at her going, Lindsay, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing?
But here's the thing: the record of the internet is her tweet saying you have no clue, so you look like a
You
doofus.
have no clue.
The other thing is I then put it away and put the thing down and almost smacked the camera out of her hand. So she.
I think that once the technology becomes a little more ubiquitous, people see it. Like it won't be weird to see people with the headset on. Like right now, we're in like an in between space where it's like, oh, look at that weirdo wearing a headset.
No,
but
it's
after
true.
you
Do
know
you
a
think
year,
that's-
it'll be
that's
like
still
Maybe.
that's stereotype that it's just a weirdo wearing it. Yeah,
That's
that's me looking at her. Like, because the way it works is the camera view is projected next to a little pop out on the hand that you hit the button on. So there's just a little floating video window right there, which is kind of strange because you have to hold that up, but you're still looking out of the camera mounted on your headset.
I see.
So if I do this, well, obviously the window stays over here, and I'm now looking at nothing.
Right.
And yet the camera is looking that way. So if I were to look that way with both my other eye breaking somehow.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Anyway,
Well, I will say that when I went to CES,
Mm-hmm.
they had a whole booth where people were putting VR headsets and they were riding on a roller coaster, and I was like, look at those idiots. Like, I still felt like it was weird enough that I was
Mm-hmm. that
like,
reminds me.
I did a. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, well I was just gonna say here at South by Southwest, I think there was actually a group showing off what they were calling a 4G headphones, and the
Right.
and the intent was basically it could trick your nervous system into feeling a sense of motion. So it
Horrible.
yeah, I can see that going very badly for a lot of people.
There
but
was-
it was supposed to trick your inner ear so that you got some sense of this.
It was Samsung.
Was
Samsung's
Okay.
4D VR
4D.
motion
That's it.
headphones.
I don't know what 4G
it's like
is. a
4G.
phone.
It's like very
Hey, it's
connected.
great. Gets great cellular data rates.
There was another company that was showing off a VR headset here. I didn't get a chance to try it out yet. Hopefully, I'm hoping to see it later this week. Where their headphones, they look like Beats by Dre headphones, but you can fold the top part of the headphone down
Oh,
so
yeah.
it comes over your eyes, like kind of like Data from Star Trek. I'm not Data.
Geordi.
Geordi from Star Trek. And then when you're done, you just like fold them back up like they're
Yeah, well,
like their
that's-
normal headphones.
That's your everyday VR, for the casual VR enthusiast who likes to, on the walk, sometimes just shut out the world and walk into something.
Nah.
But getting back to the thing that's more topical at the moment, the PlayStation VR, or Morpheus was a better name for it, right?
No, PlayStation
Nah.
VR is better.
Come on. That's so generic and
Right, it's-
boring.
it's
Yeah, it
on
says
brand.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, it has to tell.
PlayStation View, PlayStation VR.
You think about like kids asking their parents for stuff for
Yep.
Christmas. Like, what do you want? Morpheus. What the fuck is that? What do you want? PlayStation VR. Okay, I'm gonna go to the store and ask them for
Yep.
PlayStation VR.
I would like one generic product, please. Thank
Yes.
you.
You know how you get people to buy it? By naming it something generic.
I like that I just did this to do like the glass push motion. I'm the only one on stage not wearing glasses.
Yeah.
But
You're the
you
only
do-
one who thinks
yeah.
Morpheus is better too.
And also, you're the only
That's
one
a-
who's lying to yourself because you do wear glasses.
It's
You've just got
I
on
do.
your
No, I've got
eyeballs right
contacts.
now.
I just at the moment I don't have
Yeah.
them on, so that makes less sense. But Morpheus, it's got that Matrix shout out. Come on, that was great.
no.
They always have better names for these things before they release them.
You think Natal was a better name than Connect?
They both suck.
Yeah.
There's no winner there.
Natal sucked more though.
Yeah, Connect was better. Connect was like going for something.
But so $399 is
I think-
obviously way lower,
yeah.
but it's also less quality.
How so? Like you mean like
Well, I mean the screen is like half the resolution.
it's a 1080 screen?
It's a 1920 by 1080, and that's
Yeah.
shared across both eyes.
It's 960 by 1080 per eye. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're I don't remember off the top of my head, but Oculus and Vive are both I want to say like 1080 per eye by it was like I think you get a full 1920.
Oculus resolution is 2160 by 1200 or
Yeah.
1080 by 1200 per eye.
Yeah.
Vive is the same.
Same. So it is a lower resolution. That's basically it's on order with the DK2, was a 1080 screen split across two eyes, and its resolution is definitely not as good as the Vive. You get a lot more of that cross hatchiness. It's also going to be the heaviest of the three headsets, significantly in the case of the Oculus. I believe the Oculus is the lightest of the three. I think it's by like 172 grams, but
Oh, well, that whole
Well, look.
172 grams.
it's riding on your head for a long time if you're having fun. Plus, you're pairing it with a console, which is going to iterate a lot slower speed than the PCs will for both Oculus and the Vive. So this whole idea of 120 hertz refresh rate seems real off the charts to me.
I really want to try the Vive because actually this past week we saw Hardcore Henry, and it really drove home for me the fact that I still am too motion sick of a person in the world to enjoy a lot of delicious entertainment. And I've definitely gotten sick playing with the Oculus. But then I've had some experience with Oculus where I didn't get sick at all. So
Yeah.
you've been saying the Vive you think would be
You
the
need to
best
come
for
check
me.
it
So
out.
like I
We've
want
got
to try
one.
it.
Yes.
Definitely want to try it.
The thing the Vive has going for it too is you are moving around more in three-dimensional space. So you are walking around, and it's tracking you on more of that large scale. A lot of people don't really. I mean, you can do that with the Oculus too, but the fact that it's most of its stuff so far has been more of a seated experience. So if the camera moves around,
Yeah, you get like
You're
that
more of a
swimmy
gimbal.
effect. Ugh.
so
I'm trying to find the weight here to see how light the PlayStation VR is, but I cannot find it.
I don't know that's going to make a huge difference. I'm more concerned with the. It seems like such a huge leap to me, even though. So the way it's going to work is they've got 3 different rendering styles. It's got a 90 native where it'll be 90 frames per second and it'll refresh at 90 hertz. So that's I mean that's a high end. That's on par with Oculus and Vive. Seems like really high for the PlayStation because that was a console that was like, yeah, we're going to deliver something that can do 60 frames per second. And that's what they're really pushing the hardware to do. And now they're like, well, but we could probably also do 90 across 2 different eyes and a third screen that may be rendering a different viewport. And then there's got the 120, which is way, way out there. I'd be surprised if we saw anything more complicated than a real simple like blocks and shapes sort of thing. And then you've got the 60 interpolated to 120. Where it's got kind of what they call it like reposition or something, where they can take the 60 and you'll still get some frame movement, even though it doesn't render another frame, which that makes me nervous because I feel like either they're going to have to render an overscan so that gives you a little play, or something that happens on the Gear VR now, which we've played around with a little bit, which is sometimes you'll turn and you get like a hard line that just kind of moves into view, like
Yeah.
it.
Like
I feel
it's
that-
not rendering fast enough or
Right.
something. Yeah.
It's like it didn't have time to render it, but it's still corrected for your head motion, and so you just kind of look over, and then you've got no screen. You just got like a little dark line that intrudes, and I feel like that might be what they're talking about.
I've only had a chance to wear it once, and from that time I never experienced that. But it was only a demo in one game, so I don't know, what's going to look like.
As long as
all
the
the
frame
time.
rate matches the refresh rate, you would never see that. But if this whole idea of having it somehow interpolate an extra frame to take 60 up to 120.
I'm not saying this in a shitty way.
Okay.
Is interpolate a word?
Interpolate?
Yeah.
Never heard that word before in my life. And it sounds like you've taken 2 words that don't mean to go together.
It's funny because that's basically what interpolation is. It's something that we used it a lot in animation because typically when you have one frame to another frame of animation, the interpolation is what bridges the two.
Oh.
It's
Ryan teaches me words, Gus. What was the
Hey.
other one?
Ursine.
Ursine.
Ah.
Ryan's like my word a day calendar, just like more mouthy and a little.
Yeah.
Usually
little doughier.
mispronounced.
Just as annoying.
Thanks.
So I looked up
Yeah.
the weights. What was it? The PlayStation VR weighs approximately 21 ounces, and the Oculus is 16 and a half ounces. So it's about a 5 ounce difference. So 16 ounces is a pound. So Oculus weighs about a pound, and PlayStation VR is just under a pound and a half.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's not a
like
huge
pound and a
difference.
half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that on my face.
I mean, it's on your head.
Yeah.
Though I will say the Morpheus looks like it may carry the weight better.
Sir, you know what it's called. Use its regular
The
name. Use
Morpheus.
its Christian name.
The Morpheus. I'm going to call it the Morpheus.
Of course
I'm
you
going to
are.
rebrand it for him.
But I'm going back to something I said earlier. I'm shocked that they're not releasing a bundle with the camera, because I know the camera was popular. We talked about it when the PlayStation 4 first came out, about how they couldn't keep up with demand because so many people were buying the camera. But I honestly, personally, I just don't know anybody with it.
Yeah, I think the only thing I've ever done with the camera is sign in, or when the PlayStation 4 first came out and we got one in the office, it was like that little game where you could interact with like the little robot. You remember what I'm talking about?
Oh,
When the
yeah,
first
yeah.
PlayStation first came out and you could like smack a robot around the room. That was the only thing we used the camera for.
I
And it
think
would like blow up and break and stuff.
that was brought up actually during the presentation. They said they were in talks of doing a bundle.
Okay.
It was odd because they specified for North America. So I wonder if outside the North American market they had a lot more of the bundles with the console sold.
Such a nice segue into regionalized bundles and how fucking lame they are in this day and age, because Nintendo announced the Super Famicom, Nintendo 3DS,
yeah.
and I am livid that it has not been announced for the US.
No,
Not even a
that-
Super Nintendo version.
Yeah, didn't they say point blank that it was not coming out
That's
to the
it.
US? Yeah.
Well,
what is
we
this
would
thing?
never
It
get
was
a
the same.
Famicom
It was the
one.
same thing with the Metal Gear Solid 5.
There's been like a
PlayStation 4.
red PlayStation that never came to North America. Like I think Europe got a blue, like Japan got a red one, Europe got a blue one, and we got fucking nothing.
Now we got black.
Great, you got standard color.
There was that white one.
That's true. Was
That's
it
the
a
one that-
Destiny one, right? It was the
Oh,
white
was
one.
it Destiny?
Yeah,
I think the Destiny one was white, but I think there was also another white
Right.
one as well.
Just like the Xbox, they just made a fancy white one, and there's like, hey, that's
Sunset Overdrive.
we just made like 6.
and they're also going to use that white Xbox one with the Quantum Break bundle I saw.
Oh, that's cool.
Rainbow Six had a white one as well, the exclusive.
They're like, guys, come on, please buy.
We got them on the shelf. No one wants them.
Yeah, the Super Famicom 3DS is just like, it looks so freaking cool. I'd take a Super Nintendo one if they wanted to change it all to the weird blue purple that we had. That's fine. I'd take that too. But like everyone was like, well, they got like the Pokemon ones. Those look like shit. Those faceplaces look like shit.
Who cares?
They
It
have
goes
like
in a
big white
cabinet.
lines in the middle
It
there.
doesn't go in a cabinet; it goes in your hands.
Because
You
it's
look
a
at it all the
handheld.
time.
Oh, you're talking about Nintendo. I was
Yeah.
talking about, for some reason, it was still on PlayStation.
Oh no, she's
Yeah.
talking about the 3DS.
And then someone from Australia sent me, they have a Animal Crossing one. Adorable. Australia only. Not in the US.
I got something else to bitch about with the 3DS. So the 3DS, normally in this day and age, if you travel overseas and you take your electronics, like let's say in this example, you go to Australia,
Mm-hmm.
their electricity, their outlets operate at a higher voltage.
Mm-hmm.
If I took my laptop there and I plugged it in, the power adapter for my laptop knows, oh, hey, this is higher voltage. I know how to work with this, and it's fine. It does not destroy my laptop. If you take your North American 3DS and try to plug it into the wall down there with an adapter, it will blow up.
Well, but we talked about this. Remember, because I was like, oh, fuck, I didn't bring a charger for I had my SP because I was playing WarioWare. And you were like, do not, under any circumstances, plug it in. But then Anna, did you see the group text message
Yeah.
Anna sent out that was like, hey, can we charge it? Her boys charged theirs. So someone had like
I think she had a transformer.
right.
Yeah.
Like a power converter
Yeah.
outlet thing. I had that. See, I didn't know I could use that.
You have to have a special one that steps the power down.
Okay.
But is that not what the thing is when you
No.
plug it in?
That's just an interface converter.
Huh.
So like I've seen it happen before. The power adapter that comes with the North American 3DS only does, I think, 100 to 120 volt. And I think down there in Australia it's either 240 or 250.
Yeah.
So you would try it.
Just blow it straight up.
Well,
And most electronics, most power converters, they're fine. They know they can adapt to that range. I'm sure they save a nickel.
you can
a
also
part.
get the USB cable.
Yeah.
That was
it's-
Michael's big solution.
Yeah,
was-
that is another way to
USB
get around it.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people in other countries or other regions complaining about the pricing for PlayStation VR, saying that it was much higher in their regions. But
get that a lot.
I did the like currency conversions, and lots of times it was actually pretty spot on. It wasn't bad. Like I know in the past I've seen that happen where a console will come out and it'll be $399 in the US and then £399 in the UK. Like that's not really fair.
Yeah.
But like I looked up again, going back to the Australia region, I saw someone was complaining there that I think they said that it's going to be $549 for PlayStation VR down there.
That sounds about right. for
Which and I
conversion.
converted, $399 US dollars is 534 Australian dollars. I was like, yeah, that's it's like $15 more, but it's in the neighborhood. It's not as bad as I've seen in the past.
I'm still afraid that whatever they can do with PlayStation VR is going to be another one of those things that may sour some of the VR market. They're really going to have to work really hard at optimizing to get a good experience out of that. It's
Because you think it's underpowered, or
there's no way it's going to line up. Cycle for cycle with the PCs that are already being projected, for VR use on.
well, if anything, I'm excited because I think we're more apt to see, and maybe it's just a prejudice of mine, but I feel like you're more apt to see higher quality games on PlayStation VR since Sony first party is going to be wanting to develop and handle a lot of that to push the hardware. Whereas Oculus and HTC, they're not
Yeah.
game developers. They're relying on third parties to come in and make the games.
That's a
Whereas
great point.
PlayStation VR, you're going to have first party Sony developers who really understand the hardware and know how to push and get the most out of it.
You're absolutely right. That's a great point. You will have a much tighter experience on stuff that is developed by Sony for Sony hardware, and whatever they come up with I'm sure is going to be good. The problem is getting over that hurdle from, okay, now we're the only ones that can make good things for our system too. Hey guys, somebody else make one.
The Nintendo problem.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I think a lot of it, will end up being maybe the best VR experiences in this current first iteration aren't the photorealistic experiences. It's not like trying to really immerse you. It's taking more of an artistic license or more of a cartoony style, stuff that doesn't need as much horsepower to render or spit out.
Well, even cartoony stuff, though, you don't want to look at the edges and see it look like you're kind of looking through muslin is a lot of times how it kind of comes across. It's like you've got a piece of fabric covering your eyes.
But I mean, you could do stuff like you think about, a Borderlands or something that's cell shaded where you can really get away with maybe lower poly counts by just making things look kind of angular.
very stylized.
Right, and going with a stylistic choice and just making it and cheating and getting more more quality out that way.
It's like the wild west of video games all over again, because they now have to come up with not only new experiences but new ways to deliver them. A lot of the old tropes, the old FPS fallback stuff just can't work anymore. You can't move around the space the same way, or at least that's a lot of people have that trouble with that transition of using a controller and then moving through space, like walking and turning. If you need to look more than just this, it's really not that hard once you sit down and just put it in your brain. It's like driving a car or anything. My body is now a vehicle in the sense of the game.
But I mean, and a lot of it is weird. Like I did, the VR and the AR track for South by Southwest just started today, but I had a chance yesterday to check out this interactive like VR film experimental thing, and it was cool. It's like you could move around in the space as the story was being told, but anytime I started moving down a hallway, my body in the real world, my physical body started just leaning. And then we're like, wait, like I have to like stop and like peek out the bottom of the headset and be like, okay, no, you're not moving.
Because you're getting motion sick or what?
No, just like I would start moving and then my body would just start leaning to the side. Like, no, stop doing that. Like just like the movement wasn't connected in my head, and like it was just my sense of balance thought it was off and trying to correct.
Yeah, see, like for me, that's the thing that makes me ill, is when my sense of balance is like, what? Okay, I'm not where I thought I was spatially.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Hardcore Henry. People were like, oh, but once you think of it like it's a video game, you'll be great. Wrong. I play video games all the time, never get ill. This movie made me ill. VR makes me ill. It's because like I know what to expect when my body goes somewhere, but when a video game or an experience, it's a lot of time like this sitting up motion or like moving in a space that's not just this way. It's what happened over there. Ew, oh no. Don't tell anyone, nothing happened.
It's fine.
Quality merchandise. Everything's great. It's just like when you're moving in a way that you're not used to moving in a video game. I guess I'm not really used to like back and forth-ish type over the head motion. Anyway, I don't know. That's the stuff that makes me ill. So like stuff like that makes me nervous. I love the idea though of fourth wall breaking, or I guess like even further including experiences with movies, or like for instance when they did the movie where they would call someone in the theater and then everybody would get to make the choice with the movie person. You guys ever see that?
No.
It was really cool. It was a German experiment a few years ago where everybody would enter their phone number at the beginning of the movie, and then there was like a killer or whatever, and the person was running, and they had like the person on the screen called like a number, and then everybody in the theater would shout out like, go left or go right or whatever, and the movie would do it. Like I see that
Choose
being
your
a
own
thing
adventure.
with VR as like kind of a choose your own adventure thing. Great, like you're seeing this movie, you're messing around in the space. Maybe if you find something, then they get to use it in the movie, as opposed to you never discovered that drawer full of whatever. They don't get that.
Yeah.
So like I think it has a lot of implications past gaming that I've got to be very
They did. Oh, go ahead.
When I was talking to these people with this interactive experience, we were spitballing ideas for future collaborations and stuff at Artex, and some of it was those kinds of ideas where it's an interactive experience where if you find stuff you can use it, but if you don't find it you get a different story, and then talking about branching it out depending on how the person interacts with the story being told.
I love stuff like that. I think it's really, really cool. And actually, we're seeing people do that with like 360-degree video now, like augment stories with that. As lame as an example as this is, Taylor Swift did a 360-degree video experience with her blank space video, and I thought it was really cool. That's the kind of stuff in VR. I could watch the Taylor Swift video, but I could also be looking around at all the other stuff.
You know who else does 360 video? Us.
Okay, well, no.
Yeah, go check out a few 360 videos on Rooster Teeth.
You also put those out?
We did I actually just recorded. There's a video that came out on the Let's Play channel of with Screw Attack, the Mario Kart Don't Drink and Drive. I recorded that with 360 camera. So if you want to see Michael and Gavin vomit as if you were standing in the room, I've got the video.
Here, let me read this.
Oh, please read this.
Before you get to that. Want to remind everyone, this episode of The Patch is brought to you by NatureBox. Tired of eating the same bland food while trying to stay healthy? NatureBox has over 100 snacks for that. Making smarter choices doesn't mean you have to eat boring food. NatureBox makes snacks that are full of flavor and none of the junk. NatureBox makes over 100 ridiculously delicious snacks that they source from all over the world for you to choose from. They have some great ones like lemon tea biscuits, guacamole bites. NatureBox makes it easy to find snacks you want without questioning what's in them. Plus, they're constantly adding new and interesting snacks for you to discover. NatureBox believes you shouldn't eat something you don't like, so if you try a snack you don't like, they'll replace it in your next box for free. You can't do that with other snacks. Go to naturebox.com/thepatch right now to get 50% off your first box of delicious and unique snacks without any of the junk. That's naturebox.com/thepatch for 50% off your first box of the best tasting snacks in the world. naturebox.com/thepatch. 50% off snacks. 50% of the money, 100% of the snacks. Boom. I just
Nailed
made
it.
that up.
No, nailed it.
Yeah, awesome. You can have that one for free, NatureBox. Thanks for sponsoring.
I have a quick question for people to answer in the hashtag because I was looking it up earlier when we were talking about VR. Is there a way to easily unregion lock a 3DS for somebody who might want to buy one from Japan? I saw an article. It kind of makes me feel like I might be punked if I do it.
Isn't 3DS region free?
I believe it's not. I was reading this article about how, because that's what my first question was when I couldn't get the Super Famicom. I was like, can I import it? Can I play games? And I was reading an article that was like, you can unregion lock your new 3DS by putting in a copy of a game called Cubic Ninja.
Cubic Ninja. It's better than Pubic Ninja.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, I see. I see
And
what you're looking at.
Scans like
yeah.
a QR code or something.
Yeah.
So, is that real? Could you just hashtag the patch?
I like
if
the
you have an
idea of you
idea?
like going to Japan, and it's almost like when you're adopting a foreign child. It's like you go over there and you visit with your 3DS for a little while, and you're like, "Do you want to come
Is
home
this
with
gonna
me?
work?"
Do you want to be part of my family? Let's see if we can get the papers to work."
Oh.
Yeah. So
They have no say in that, Ryan. There's no, do you want to be part of my family? It's like, come on, kid, I paid for you.
I bought you.
Get
You're
on the
mine
plane.
now.
The government says you're mine now.
So someone on Twitter who is this Moby the Mini is asking about the PlayStation VR, saying, I think talking about quality, saying, isn't that what the special processor is for?
The
And
special processor is to do, well, at least from what they've talked about, and last I heard, the special processor was to provide the on-screen
Correct.
render.
it adds no. They have been very like cagey about it, not answering specifics, but they have point blank said it is not a hardware add-on that adds more power to the PlayStation.
Right.
Yeah, it is for the purpose you're talking about having the second view on the television for other people who don't have the headset on to see.
Can you turn that off?
I mean,
I would assume so.
I don't know why you would be able to turn it off. A lot of the times, well, again, that's one part of this whole VR experience that's so up in the air. But some of the second viewport stuff that I've seen done has been by far the best experiences on VR.
So you think the person who's sitting on the couch is having a better experience than the person with the headset on?
Not better, but it makes the experience make sense. All of a sudden, that takes VR to a new place for me. There's the Oculus demo where, and I haven't actually played it, but I've seen the trailers for it, where the person is in the VR helmet, and then there are 4 players around them, and they've got to try and spot where they're hiding, essentially. There was a Black Hat Oculus, which was something that was done way back at a game jam, which was a person in the Oculus and a person on the outside, and that person on the outside had a map and could see where all these traps and dangers are, and the person in the Oculus was actually navigating a maze, essentially, and they had to work together.
Oh, it's like keep talking and nobody explodes.
Kind of, yeah. Or Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes is another good example, though. That one is, the second screen isn't really necessary. There's the demo they showed for Project... damn it, I want to call it Project Morpheus so much. For PlayStation VR, where it's like the 4 little robots and then the one dragon or something, and they're all fighting each other.
So I'm not saying that I don't doubt that combining non-VR and VR is a good experience. I'm just saying if I'm just home by myself, is there a way for me to turn off this giant TV experience that
Sure.
I'm not using? Will
Turn
that
off the TV.
But I mean, that doesn't there's no other way to can I toggle it off so that it draws more power to my VR experience?
I can guarantee you there will be no benefit to turning off that secondary
okay.
processor, especially because essentially they're using other additional hardware to render that view.
Okay.
Is what it sounds like they're trying to do.
Let me reroute that power.
Can't do it. Nope.
There is no additional power.
We will not let you.
There
do
is
that.
no reroute button.
So you mentioned Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. It made me think about a video I saw this past week. Have you seen the video the guy made, someone made?
Oh, yeah.
basically like an AI to help him play Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
Oh,
It responds
no.
to voice commands. So he, it's supposed to be a 2-player game, but he plays it by himself by using voice commands and talking to this program he created.
First
I
of all,
wanna
that guy's
give him a
too
hug.
smart. He needs a friend.
It was amazing to watch. Like at first when I started watching
yeah.
it, I was confused. I was like, I'm not entirely sure what I'm watching.
He
And then,
kills it.
yeah.
Can I just say that I bet I'm not to be conspiracy theory, but I bet there's like a really cute girl who's like, "Do you want to play it?" He's like, "Go away! I'm playing with my AI."
You don't understand us.
Yeah, no, he annihilates this thing. The closest we've done, I think, is like 5 traps, and we've gotten nowhere near completing it. I think we always get caught on one or the other of these, and he's got a bunch of shorthand statements he uses to kind of
Yeah.
briefly. Well, obviously he knows the Simon puzzle by heart, so he doesn't even have to communicate with the computer for that. He knows if one light flashes, he
Yeah.
pushes one button. But yeah, the wire sequences, the even like the maze, he's got it programmed so it's so fast and so accurate. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah, and I believe he made the program available on GitHub.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, if people want to download it, they
Oh,
can.
we should try that.
Yeah, you should see if who's a better partner, the people you work with or the robot you can download.
That game's also so. I think I just saw the other day it sold over 200,000 units.
Really?
Oh, that's awesome.
That for a small game like that is predicated on needing hardware that no one has. Yeah, that's really
It's very,
good.
very cool.
I saw someone from that studio. Jeff and I talked to them briefly when we were at DICE a couple of weeks ago. It was really.
By the way, I
yeah,
take that back. You do not have to have the Oculus to play it. You
No.
can play it without Oculus, or you can play it with Gear VR.
neat game.
At the Toasty Loaf on Twitter says he's glad that he's reading Ready Player One as VR discussion is going on, and I agree. I'm ready for like a Ready Player One. I'm ready for a Sword Art Online. These are the games I
You
want
want
to
the
be
full
seeing.
dive?
I want to be in there. I want to be World of Warcrafting in a bed, laid down with a thing on my face.
To be
That's what
honest,
I want.
Ready Player One, if I remember correctly, it was the control system in that was just you had a VR headset and haptic gloves. And then he added things that would let you feel sensation over the rest of
Right.
your body,
Yeah,
well,
but
but
it wasn't like
it was all about like if you had enough money, you could get a special chair.
Right.
But there was a suit. He had like a whole haptic suit.
which was just to provide feedback, though. That was
Right.
not part of the control system, I
No.
don't think.
Correct.
So it's not what was described in that book is not far off from what we can do now.
I will shave my head and my eyebrows
Yeah?
right now.
Not
That's
necessary.
what
for
he
that-
did.
Yeah, he did.
That's what he did.
Well, he
They
just
all
didn't want to
did.
maintain it. He's just getting rid
Well,
of the
but then
hair.
it was like he got more feedback or something, right? Like he said it was easier for his
Special
shoot, for his suit.
Did you ever
Shoot.
read Snow Crash?
No.
It's
I've
it's
heard
an
of
older
it,
book,
but
it's similar thing where there's a virtual internet world where people can see each other and talk. But it's a similar thing where if you have a less powerful computer, your avatar in the virtual world is shittier. And so like if you're using like a public terminal, it's like, oh, you got like a shitty black and
You
white
got, like, the
avatar,
egg
low resolution.
Twitter.
You're all alias.
Right, and it's like, you probably have like a generic avatar, but it's like if you have a nicer computer, you can have like one that's rendered with like particle effects and like crazy hair and lights.
the
and,
rich get richer.
right, and then
Poor
that's
get
how people
poorer.
stand out. It's like you can really tell, and it addresses that a bit, like a kind of a class divide
That's sort
between.
of a weird, though. If you
people.
think about it from actual computer hardware standpoint, that wouldn't make any sense at all, because it would just like everything you would see would be low res if you had a shitty computer, because that's entirily based on what's rendering in your eye.
Hey Ryan, it's a book, buddy.
But come on, let's talk about it.
It also
like it's
came out, I
real.
think, like in 1990. So
Hey, AOL Online's gonna be around forever.
I still have a disc somewhere.
Oh heck yeah. No,
I think it's propping open a door.
Sword Art Online, like that to me is, I don't think will happen in our lifetime, honestly, as depressing as that sounds, but I think it's not far off. And like the idea of an MMO in which you are basically, for all intents and purposes, in an actual other world, like you're able to battle and use your entire body while in the real world you're not moving at all. That is such a cool concept.
That's the death of humanity.
Such a cool concept. Turns out to be the death of a lot
Well,
of people in Sword Art too.
it
Don't want
does.
to ruin too much for
we'll
you.
we'll
but-
all end up being like the humans in Wall-E, just like in chairs.
I think we'll be the opposite of like the super fat people in Wall-E, and we'll just all be super thin and malnourished because nobody will stop and eat.
No, but then you'll have like a helper robot that'll like stick a straw of food in your mouth and like
Give me
force
an
it down.
IV.
Yeah,
I love this idea though, because we've talked about several times like how VR is going to take a lot of the people that currently leading very sedentary lives and all of a sudden like jack them up. Like they're going to be all ripped now because they've been standing up, running around the room.
VR is gonna make people ripped.
Look, if you are really into it and you're playing on like an Omni where you're physically running and
Sure.
you're holding the peripherals, all of a sudden all these hardcore video game players are going to go from looking kind of emaciated to like, and then that technology will get invented and all of a sudden it'll go, and they will just be scrawny and malnourished again.
I hope I get to attend the Comic-Cons when everybody's hot.
Hopefully in our lifetime.
Also,
That's
there's
coming.
no, like, yes, you run around in an Omni and you hold a gun, but there's no, like, hey, everyone, let's do our jumping jacks in VR.
Hey, once you've been holding those controllers out for a while, which granted I'm sure they'll get lighter, but when you're doing a lot of swinging and
Hey,
shooting and
You know, I will say,
you
Wii
put some
Fit,
weight bands on,
I lost some weight doing Wii Fit. Wii Fit's fun.
There you
If
go.
I could get Tony Horton in my helmet, I would do it.
that probably will exist.
And I've seen other demos similar to that, like workout demos where it's like you have a trainer in front of you who's like demonstrating moves for you to do, and you're supposed to copy them. And of course, there's no way you can tell yet if
Right.
you're doing it right or not. But
See, I think
we're on like
that's-
first baby steps.
Yeah, I think that's like forget about like the headset part of it. Just like something almost like I guess like a HoloLens would be the best way to do it, like an augmented reality where it's like the trainer's in the room with you, but you're not like, because I don't want to work out with a big headset
Right.
on. But like the idea of getting that feedback and like that kind of scanning technology, that is so cool. Gyms got to be shaking in their boots.
Well, the Kinect already could kind of do that, and it didn't really put any gyms out of business. I
Well,
don't
but
think.
like, think about Wii Fit. I mean, when Wii Fit came out, how long until it wasn't sold out all the time? It was
Yeah.
like over a year that it wasn't constantly sold
That
out.
was such a great strategic sell. It's like, hey, we know that you may not be as active as you'd like to be. Here's a peripheral that'll make you do some exercises.
And it was
people bought
awesome.
them just to feel good about buying them, and they didn't use them.
It's true. And I don't want to put anybody on blast here, but I did get my mom's Wii Fit that was unopened after like a year.
Don't want to put anyone on blast.
Mom.
But
I'll put someone on blast. I bought one, and we were like, yeah, we used it 12 times or so.
Oh,
and
that
now
thing was great. I felt like it made my posture better. Like, I loved that.
This is
thing.
how little we used it. Every time we stood on it, it did that thing where it goes, oof, and then it chastises you for how long it's been.
then that makes you not want to use it, right?
it's
like,
like,
I don't
"You
want the Wii to
bitch."
yell at me.
No way. I loved
The
it.
Wii's gonna talk down to
You
me.
get little coins in your piggy bank. That thing was. I would have bust out the Wii Fit now. Why isn't there a Wii U version of Wii Fit?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Thank you,
Maybe for the
guys.
NX.
Yes, bring me Wii Fit mix.
Here, let me read one other ad read here. I want to remind everyone this episode of The Patch is also brought to you by Squarespace. A big thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring us. Start building your website today at squarespace.com. Enter offer code PATCH at checkout to get 10% off. With Squarespace, you can build sites that look professionally designed regardless of skill level with no coding required. They offer intuitive, easy-to-use tools to help you along the way, and you get a free domain name if you sign up for a year. Start your free trial site today at squarespace.com. When you decide to sign up for Squarespace, make sure to use offer code PATCH to get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace, build it beautiful. You can build a website where you can distribute your talking robot files so you can keep talking and nobody explodes
without friends.
without friends. Just an idea. Just throwing
Words
that out there.
without friends. I just want to very quickly, because I don't know if this is true. He put a question mark at the end. Internet, if you know if it's true, let us know. At Sean Stewart 19 says, unlocking a region locked 3DS will lock you out of the eShop.
Oh,
Is that true? Because that would be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Let us know.
I would-
Hashtag the patch.
I would not want to do that.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, couldn't I just set the language to English and then just use it and just play game? Because everything comes out in
Couldn't you?
Japan. There's
Yeah.
nothing that doesn't come out in Japan.
Could you not?
I'm asking.
We'll
All
find
right.
out. We'll see what
I
the reply
speak
is.
enough Japanese to set it up to make it English.
Watashi wa. I don't know any more words.
Yeah, you don't know what you are.
Yeah. I am.
You're a bike?
Yes. I know like 7 words. Also, I know a couple extra from Dragon Ball, like Gohan.
Oh, yeah, rice.
Just
Or meal.
Wait, it's rice or meal?
Yeah,
Damn
there's
it!
a
I
lot
thought
of words
no,
that are a couple.
you took me down a notch. Like I thought I knew a word, and now I don't know.
just constantly ano.
Gus, you said what have you been playing lately?
I've been playing XCOM 2 still, but I think I'm finally
Still?
I'm finally almost done.
Okay.
Last night I got to the point. I'm so excited. I got to the point where I started a mission where it gave me the warning, like once you start this mission, you cannot go back.
They're serious about it in that game too.
And so I'm kind of screwed. Maybe a little screwed.
Kind of screwed. Okay.
I have a lot of really great soldiers who are all really hurt at the moment.
Oh.
So and it says, once you start this, you cannot go back. Time will not progress. Your soldiers will not heal. It's like, fuck. So I was like, okay, maybe I can like kill a little bit of time. I just need like 2 or 3 days, get them up. But so I tried to ignore that mission, kill a little bit of time. Then other missions started popping up that I had to do. So like, do I go into the final mission without my best soldiers, or do I wait and try to do these other missions?
Just stop getting hurt.
Yeah, that's impossible for me. My strategy is just like, go out, you're going to get casualties. People are going to get hurt. We're just going to hurt them more than they hurt us.
That's right.
Gus using the old attrition tactics.
Yeah. So
Gus D. Eisenhower says.
so we'll get through it, but I may just not have my best soldiers available for.
Well,
me
you're just in time for the
at end.
DLC. It's coming out, I think, in the next week or two.
I think this week. I think
Anarchy's Children?
Tomorrow or Thursday. Tomorrow or Friday. So I think I saw the big part of that. It seemed like it was mainly a lot of customization options for soldiers.
A lot of customization stuff, but I think they also have a new playable character class.
Right? Interesting.
And
What's
it's
you
got its own
played a lot. What's your
storyline.
favorite class?
They did a much better job of balancing the classes in this one. I feel like I kind of like using all of them in conjunction. In previous versions of XCOM, or in XCOM Enemy Within, Enemy Unknown was the first version of
Correct.
it. In that one, it was just like sniper all the way.
All the way, yeah.
In Enemy Within, sniper and mechs, because they were great in conjunction. And maybe you throw one psi operative back there. In this one, they have like the psi operatives are really powerful, but they're not as useful in a firefight. But you don't really ever need to let them shoot their guns.
Yeah.
But the mix of the team felt so much better.
Definitely.
than the last
At
one.
first, when I started playing, I thought maybe the Ranger class was too generic.
Mm-hmm.
But as time went on, I thought it was too generic, and I thought that their sword ability was stupid. But as time went on, I grew to like depend on that, like the ability to run up to someone and melee them, and not have to worry about depleting ammo or needing to reload. Like it was.
Especially when you combine it with
Huge.
something like the ability where if you get a kill, then you're immune the next round.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
can run them out in the middle of just open space, kill somebody with a sword, and they're safe for the next turn. You don't have to worry about them getting hit.
Yeah, that's a great perk. So I was really happy, I think, with the Ranger the most. But and again, like I said, my people get hurt a lot. So lots of times I'll deploy with really weird squads. Like one time I had to deploy a squad with 3 grenadiers.
3 grenadiers and Fred from accounting.
Yeah, it was like, okay, this is what we have. We just have big guns and grenade launchers.
How many times have you gotten shot down by UFOs more than ever?
No, it has never happened. Okay, so it had never happened. But when I just talked about the end of the game starting, when I left to go try to kill time, that's when I got attacked by a
Finally
UFO.
got a UFO.
So it's like I could proceed and end the game without ever having a UFO attack, or I can have a UFO attack as my next mission.
I only ever saw the one, and that seemed like such an interesting mission, but I never got to do it again.
Yeah,
But
they threatened me with one, but then I did like the operation to counter it.
Okay.
And then so it stopped.
I think I'm probably going to just do another playthrough as when the DLC comes out, just to start fresh and go all the way through the whole
It
thing.
was brutal. Like,
It is brutal.
So hard.
From the beginning, it is very brutal. Again, you can work yourself to a point where you're pretty immune from anything. Especially the hackers are huge in the in-game.
Yeah, I've never really hacked, and I don't have any psi operatives. I feel like there's
Whoa.
there's a whole. I've really focused on guns and tech.
Boy, yeah, no, you're missing a huge part of the game.
Right, like I've never even made one of the helmets. I have
'Cause-
nothing about that.
I don't know that a sectoid has ever fired on me. I think every time I reveal them, I immediately hack them, shut them down for a couple turns, and just blow them up. And a lot of the mechanical units, I will either seize control of them. Like that's why I said the gateway I didn't know what the abilities of the orbs, the gateways, gatekeepers were, because I would just immediately seize control of them every time I saw them. So there's so many like asset denial skills that you're missing without psi and tech.
This is why my people are always getting hurt.
No wonder.
It's like, we got guns. We're just going to go out there and shoot them and let them shoot us. And that's it.
We hope we make it. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. Apparently, there is a Wii U Wii Fit. It's called Wii
Really?
Fit U.
What?
We fit you where?
Apparently, not on a damn store shelf because I've never heard of it before, but a bunch of people have.
Holy
Said
crap.
We Fit You.
It came out November of 2013.
Wow. Does it look just like the original?
It does. It fit meter included. Huh.
Oh, was it like a board?
Did
Like
you
a
get a
bounce board?
Fitbit?
I mean, this. Hold on.
It's
It's not very big. It looks like
Oh,
she's
it's
on.
a little
yeah,
wet balance board.
yeah, but it looks like there's a little pedometer maybe as well.
a pedometer
I
on
felt-
your board. Do you carry it
No,
with you?
it's like out in the world. Like remember the Pokemon game that had the little pedometer with it? There's a Pokemon game that had a pedometer, like a Poke meter. I can't remember what it's called. And you put it on your belt, and like as you walked around, you got like more items
Oh,
because you did so many steps.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, Nintendo made that or they didn't. I don't think they ever made it. They announced that vitality sensor years ago at E3. Remember?
The thing that was like while you sleep, they were gonna get like into the health space, and it was
Right.
supposed to like
What?
yeah, it was supposed to like scan you while you slept to see if you were sleeping well enough or
You
whatever.
know, remember
Nintendo,
it, like-
we watch you while
Yeah.
you sleep.
Oh, that thing is different than what I was thinking of.
It was to monitor heart rate and.
See, that's the thing though. Gabe Newell came out and said he thought that was also biometric feedback was going to be the future of gaming. As your heartbeat increases, different things happen in the game to try and stress you out even more. I think that's amazing for horror gaming. There's
Yeah.
so many cool things you can do with horror gaming, but nothing I will ever play.
Well, it makes me think back to Eternal Darkness on the
Yep.
GameCube, which was you had to maintain your sanity.
Your sanity meter.
And then as
But
you went
the-
insane, stuff got fucked up.
Yeah, that game took it to a level at which I would turn my TV around and not look at it anymore because it would like simulate errors and like it's almost like in Fez where it like pretends like when you get the Fez and everything crashes and it like reboots the game for you. It's stuff like that I love on paper, but when it's happening to me, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying. And actually, we were talking recently in a news story about Daylight, which is a game where when you play it with Twitch integration, people in the Twitch chat can say either phrases or words, I can't quite remember, and it makes things happen. It'll trigger different things in the game. It's like a horror game.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was like make voices happen or like make scary music turn on or all sorts of different stuff.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept.
It's really smart, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of that. Games
Yeah.
with direct Twitch integration.
Well, because the Tomb Raider card system went over like gangbusters. People loved it.
Yeah.
So.
Isn't that kind of making a large part of your game dependent on finding people to watch you though?
I don't think it's a large part of your game, but I do think that there's so many streams nowadays where like 3 people are watching, but people are still doing it.
Yeah,
Like
you
people
see a
love
couple,
to freaking
yeah.
stream, yeah.
I guess you can get like 3 of your friends just to watch just to have fun.
Or not even like if you want to participate, like if you want to be like a troll, you can fuck with someone. You just find someone with really low viewers, and like I know that if I interact, it's going to affect them.
Yep. And we were just talking about Twitch is coming out with these new this is a news story. They announced at GDC that they're coming out with these new developer tools to help people create games in conjunction with Amazon's Lumberyard, but to create games that have Twitch integration as part of the fundamentals of the game, not as like an add-on, to make people want to Twitch stream those games even more. But those are the kinds of games where now they're going to have games where one of the ones they announced was a game where you play with your streamer. So it's like people enlist in an army of the streamer they're watching. They fight against another streamer
Oh,
and
that's
their
cool.
army, and you like combat against each other. So it's like all about participation, and you get to feel like you're playing with the streamer.
I mean, is it like Jackbox TV style where they're
It's
using
like
some kind of a web
It's like a
portal?
chessboard of some sort. I don't know how the streams come together.
Because you
but-
wouldn't think that if they were in their own game
Right.
playing along with you, then that's just a multiplayer game. There's not really streaming involved there, is there?
But it's like I think the chat is deciding the outcome
Uh-huh.
of different games, so you feel like you're like
participating.
in the outcome of the
Interesting.
games.
Speaking of streaming, it made me think about another story. I forgot, I didn't put it in my notes, but we haven't really talked about The Division that much this episode, and we should talk about it a little bit. But there was a flaw discovered in The Division's voice chat. I don't know if you heard about this.
Oh yeah,
Where-
terrifying.
It
What?
exposes your IP address to other people. So anybody who hears your
Interesting.
voice in group chat or in proximity chat can figure out what your IP address is because it initiates a direct UDP connection between you
Shit.
and the other machine. So theoretically, someone could find an IP address and DDoS you or knock you offline, which I thought was fucking
Terrifying.
terrifying.
Whoops.
Yeah, so the only workaround at the moment is to just disable the in-game chat and use another chat service.
Division, why you fucked up? Like, why are there so many things that you that you just don't know how to do.
But I'm having a blast playing the
Are
game.
you?
Yeah, I'm really having
What
fun.
what have you found that's fun to do?
It's just a fun mechanic over and over. I think that
It's a
the
shitty question.
the combat is fun. And then just
Okay.
going through and doing that over and over. Because really, that's all the game has going on.
There's no variation. of
Every
combat.
problem is point a gun at it.
Yes.
But-
Sometimes it's go turn that thing on, but point a gun at someone on the way.
yeah, and turn something on and then make sure nobody turns it off by
Right.
using your gun. I guess I haven't played that much. I'm only maybe 10 hours in.
Uh huh.
Like level 11 or 12, and I just started like doing Dark Zone stuff. But I feel like I'm in a weird middle zone. Like there's no. This is the problem I have with the game at the moment. Is I felt like there was a lot of story early on, and now I'm just kind of rudderless. 'cause
Did you?
Well, like they set up the tutorial and go here, do this.
Okay.
Like story missions, and now it's all the story missions look like they're like level 25 or so, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of in this. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna run around and do side stuff until I can get back to that.
There's definitely kind of a gap there in the like late teens, essentially, where you've exhausted your story missions and need to just do side missions. Side missions are where a lot of the experience is. You'll get 20, 30, 40,000 experience for just doing single side missions, which are sometimes as easy as, oh, just warp to the safe house and go, hi. 40,000 experience, hey! So doing that to bridge the things, and oddly enough, playing in groups, you get ridiculous XP boosts.
Oh, really?
Or
Maybe I need to start doing that then.
that's as near as I can figure it, because whenever Jack, Jeremy, and I started playing together, we played for maybe an hour, and I think I leveled up 5 times. And we weren't really doing anything. But the story mission, such as it is, I guess sometimes they'll talk to you and be like, hey, we really need to figure out where this guy infected everybody. Can you go pick up a bunch of dollar bills at the store?
Yeah.
And that's the story.
Yeah, but I think it's progressing now. They're researching.
Nope. You
No?
go back and talk to her, and she's like, yeah, that's cool.
All right.
I mean, every now and again, you'll get a prompt to talk to someone back at your base. The last time I went and talked to the tech guy, he just talked to me about politics for a while and how shitty it was that there was this whole government agency that was just unaccountable to anybody. I'm like, yeah, cool, man. That was it. Like, there's
Alright.
I think you and I are probably in about the same place story-wise because I've seen all of that,
That,
and
yeah.
not much more beyond it.
That-
I anticipated that there's more to come.
there's only 2 more story missions that I've got to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or at least that I saw on my map. Maybe I need to unlock some more.
Maybe more
but-
unlocked. Yeah. I
But
don't know.
I'm 22 already. The level cap currently is 30. At which point you're kind of directed that Dark Zone is where the rest of your time shall be spent, other than you get a once daily mission you can replay for, I guess, XP or gear boost. But again, it's that top level gear grind. Try and
Yeah.
get high ended gear. That's all it's going to be.
I saw. I think it was someone on Polygon wrote an open letter to the hostages he had just rescued in the division because he encountered something I had definitely noticed before, where there are situations. So sometimes there's side missions where you have to go rescue hostages, and you do this by killing everyone that's holding them hostage. Then you find a key, you unlock the door, and you let them out. And of course, once you free them, there's a loot box in there with the hostages. And sometimes you go in there, and there's a fucking gun in the box. It's like, why didn't you guys just grab this gun that's right here?
I mean, it probably wasn't loaded, right? They didn't leave the bullets. They just left the gun.
Okay, maybe that's it. That makes sense. But that was definitely frustrating for me. And it was funny to see someone else have that same experience and write an article
Yeah.
about it.
I mean, the repetition is definitely there. The leveling up process is kind of weird because all your skills are based on upgrading your base and not on doing stuff other than just grinding. Just, all right, I'm going to do as many of these tech side missions as I can do today so I can get my building leveled
I
up.
feel like most of the side missions I see are medical related. Like I don't see very many tech or security side missions popping up.
Have you unlocked all the different safe house zones?
I think so. There might be one still I need to do.
Yeah, that was an issue Jeremy was running into where he needed one more medical thing and all he had was other stuff. But he unlocked a new safe house area and then there was one there. We also discovered that he could not, like he joined my game and because I had a bunch of them. And I went and did one of those encounters for just trying to get him the last 60 medical credits he needed. He didn't get credit for that. So if he'd already done it, you don't get to do it.
You can't
Even
double
if you
dip.
help in someone else's zone, you will not get the credit for doing it again.
Huh.
So
Speaking of frustrating experiences with video games, this weekend was the weekend of Hitman in our house.
yes,
So-
Gavin had some issues there.
Yes,
Huh?
Gavin. Basically, okay. So here's the thing:
He's
I'll
been
be
having
the
this issue
first-
all day today too.
I'll be the first person to say that things happen to Gavin that don't happen to a lot of other people. He has the shittiest Xbox One for some reason. He has like the shittiest everything. Everything always breaks for him, okay? He's like one of those people that touches something and it breaks. I sat down to watch him play Hitman. No joke, I think the longest he ever went without getting disconnected was maybe 8 to 10 minutes. He would literally be just like going through a mission. And the thing is, it's single player. If you get disconnected from their server, then you cannot continue the mission. The only option is to go back to the main menu and you forfeit everything since your last autosave.
Or manual save. You can save.
Yeah, you can. Well, and then you can't save when you're in combat though.
Oh, okay.
So like there was a time where he was like I think something chugged and he was like, fuck, I gotta save. And then he went to save, but it was like some guy had been alerted like way over there and he was like, fuck, I can't save right now because there's a dude over there and I have to go kill them first or deal with them or do whatever. So he tweeted about this. I tweeted first. I was like, oh, you should really tweet about this. I didn't tag Hitman. Gavin did tweet and he tagged Hitman. This is their fucking response. We're working on these issues and know it's frustrating. Many players connected with no problems. So we're investigating the rest.
To be fair,
Is there a shittier way to respond to somebody who's getting fucked by your crappy ass servers?
to be fair,
Hitman.
I played Hitman and had no problem.
Yeah.
It
You know
is
what?
just Gavin.
It's not just Gavin though, because people were tweeting him nonstop, and me
So
being
it-
like, I also have not been able to do fucking anything.
Like, is it his Wi-Fi connection dropping out? Do you know, or is it just like the servers just disconnecting?
I
them?
believe it's the game servers because I have no problems connecting any of my devices, and we watch Netflix and everything else, and never have problems with it.
Okay.
So it's just Hitman that's just absolutely taking a dump all over
I guess to
our
be
hearts
fair,
and lives.
well, and it's still happening to him today. He was
Yeah.
having he was
And
recording
he
a
was
things
here,
to do,
and a different
here,
Xbox,
which is
different
wired.
internet.
And I will say, as a tease to the things to do, it's hilarious.
Oh, it is. It absolutely
He's
is.
got an amazing things to do.
Yes.
He's working on. If he can just stay connected long enough to do it. Though in this particular case, it may have nothing to. It looked like the game was crashing, and it may be because of what he was doing.
Now the thing
Yeah,
that
it's-
you're talking
yeah.
about, yes, the thing that you're talking about is awesome,
Yeah.
and it absolutely chugs the Xbox and the game itself. We're talking about just challenges in the game.
just playing.
Again,
Yeah.
what I will say is I picked it up last night just to talk about it today, and I had no issues save one where I had failed, and when it tried to reload, the game crashed.
So
But that
there-
was the only time it didn't work in about 3 hours of play.
There was someone else here. I'm sorry, whoever it was. Someone was talking to me about. I think it was Peyton, maybe. Yeah, it was Peyton. Okay, was saying that he was trying to do a challenge, and then the game crashed, or did it crash, or did it just go back to the menu? Yeah, it crashed. It crashed. Then when he tried to save any of his autosaves from the game it crashed the game again.
Ooh.
So, and then there was a time Gavin was like, he kept recording every time we would go back to the main menu, and he'd be like, hey, come watch how close I was to finishing this thing. And then he went to show me, and the game just fully crashed.
That's awesome.
So, very sad.
Aside from the issues, though,
Yeah, I mean, he's having a lot of fun.
it's a very enjoyable game.
But,
It is, however, if you played the beta, you got one more mission on top of what you played in the beta, and that's it.
yeah, he absolutely was like, I'm almost done with stuff to do. And then, 3 days later, it's like, oh, look what I did. So, you can find a lot of really crazy stuff to do. On the happy note, that's not Hitman related, very excited about Shadow Complex Remastered being out.
Yeah.
I would put that on
is
the
it
list
out?
of things I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I think it came out today.
Yeah.
On the Xbox One.
I think I'd say I never played it when it first came out.
Really?
I played it. Well, I played like 30 minutes of it, and then I just never owned it. Didn't have.
Man.
I didn't have the money to be throwing around at that point. Okay.
Such a
It was
good
while
game.
back.
Such a good, easily one of my favorite 360 games ever.
Well, I was just playing Assassin's Creed Russia recently, and it reminded me of that, and I really wanted to go back and play it. So that's great. I now actually
Yeah.
go play the HD.
Yeah, I think-
version.
Such a good game.
And they were giving it away for free on the PC, but I think that offer expired December 31st.
Damn it!
So you missed out on that. But yeah, that's a fantastic game. I really wish that they would make a sequel to it. I thought it
I
was
know.
really well done.
I actually went to Epic Games to interview them about Gears of War. God, I think it was 3 or something. Anyway, we went to Epic, and I was like, you guys, Shadow Complex? Anyone? And they were like, oh, that's Chair. They're not at our North Carolina offices. We don't give a shit. And I was like, oh, sucks. Complex.
It
I don't
re-
care about your Gears of War. I want to talk about Shadow Complex.
It really made me think about, Super Metroid, which was one of my favorite games of all time. And, this.
It's very Super Metroid-esque, but it's like, it has its own little twists. There's so much to explore. You can find little like nooks and crannies where things hide. The weapons are really fun. Like the foam is super fun to play with. There are achievements that are really fun. You can leave the girl at the beginning and get back in the Jeep and just drive off. There's a secret.
Yeah.
There's an
I
achievement.
didn't
for
know that.
Oh yeah, you can. We had when I was an intern at G4, they came and showed us the game before it came out, and one of the I think it's an achievement, but it was like a little secret something you could get back because you start in like this Jeep and then your girl gets captured and you're like, nah, baby,
Right.
what? And you can just get back in the Jeep and then just leave and the credits will scroll.
Like it's the Far Cry 4 thing, basically.
Yeah. Well, but
this was
way
predating
before,
that.
yeah.
All right.
Love
Well,
stuff like that.
it's about time to wrap this show up. So I want to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.